Hey guys, Michael Allen. We like to call this the Expat series because we like to talk to people that have relocated down to Costa Rica from other countries, so you guys can get perspective and information if you're thinking about moving down here. Well, today we're talking to Wayne. We're gonna ask him some questions, but Wayne owns a business, hotel, Abercam in La Fortuna. It's actually a exclusive gay hotel, but that's kind of irrelevant for what we're talking about. But you know what? Here's Wayne. Let's talk to him. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
So, first of all, how long have you been in Costa Rica?
Roughly 3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yes.
Does it seem like 10 in the real world?
Well, actually, I started coming down here about 10 years before for vacations.
Oh, okay, so, well, that kind of leads to my next question. So, how did you decide on Costa Rica?
Basically, I traveled a lot of different countries, trying to find a place to move when I got older and could retire, and just fell in love with Costa Rica.
What do you think the biggest maybe advantages of being here in Costa Rica, as opposed to the States?
Well, there's a lot of financial advantages. Prices are a lot cheaper here versus the States. Probably, property prices are going up, but it's probably about half the price of living in the States. I mean, for me, on my monthly bills, having the hotel, my electric bills, half of what I paid for my house alone.
And I guess a little bit of that would be depending on where you live in Costa Rica, right? Because obviously if you live in a tourist town, obviously the price can be a little higher as opposed to maybe just some little...
Yeah, like La Fortuna.
Yeah.
You live on the
going
beach.
up. Well, La Fortuna,
La Fortuna is getting more and more expensive because of the tourism and all this type of stuff. But property's still cheaper than if you live on the beach.
No, that's true. Well, so what about some disadvantages?
There's some disadvantages, not a lot, but there's some. Anything you do here takes time, so you have to adjust to going Tico time.
Well, you're being so nice. Take some time.
Don't rush.
Define time.
Construction takes about double or more of the time, or triple.
Okay, that's a good question. So you guys started a business down here. You got your hotel here. So what was it like starting that? So you don't have to go through the process, but was it difficult? Was it harder than you thought? Easier than you thought? Took longer? That kind of thing.
Starting our corporation was fast. Less than a week. We had a corporation started, cheap.
So you got a lawyer?
Got a lawyer to do it. He did it very fast, very cheap compared to the States. That was easy. Unfortunately, we thought everything was going to be like that. Construction-wise, it took us about 2.5 years to build the hotel.
But how long had you allotted for?
We actually allotted for about 6 months.
Wait a minute, 6 months to...
6 to 8 months to have it finished. And the 6 to 8 months went into, it's going to be a year. Well, it's going to be a year and a half. You can open it 3 months. Well, actually,
so you actually didn't really know about the time thing, the Tico time thing.
Exactly. If anybody here tells you that I will be there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, don't even expect to see anybody until 10, 11, or 12. Or possibly the next day.
And what's that called? I think that's called something here.
It's called Tico time.
No, I think or Porta Vida.
Porta Vida.
You were supposed to be here at 10. Oh, Porta Vida.
It's like, hey, but...
Well, so was there anything like when you came down here that totally disappointed you? Like you weren't expecting? Was it like that? You know what I mean?
That was probably the only thing, to be honest. Everything else I love. The timing that it takes.
So
to
the
do
people.
Something. The people are wonderful. You couldn't ask for nicer people in the world. Mm-hmm. It's just people go by their own time standard.
It's not ours.
Exactly. So you have to adjust to that. You have to realize that you cannot come here and be in a rush.
Actually, to go back a little bit, so you came down here as a gay man. Mm-hmm. So what was the transition like? From where you were, in the States to here as a gay man. Did you feel accepted? The whole thing.
Yeah,
your
actually,
experience.
Yeah, I've had no problems since I've lived here. Everybody seems to accept you. The bottom line is you have to be a decent person, a nice person. You can't come here and look at people and go, they're poor. They have less money than I have, so I can treat them differently. You treat everybody the same, and they treat you the same. There's no problems. I've never had a problem being a gay guy here. Most people are very accepting, even if it is a Catholic country. They're very accepting to being gay. As long
So no real discrimination
No.
that you would know about.
No, nothing I've run into at all, period.
So, I don't know, advice for others. So somebody's thinking about this, watching this, they've done a little bit of homework. What would you tell them to do if you gave advice to somebody that was thinking about actually moving, total relocation? Because we're not talking, I don't know, this is expat stuff. This isn't vacationing here for 4 months and going back. This is making the move. So what advice would you give somebody to actually making the move down here?
Do lots of research. Get on the internet, read your books, learn everything you can about Costa Rica, everything from politics to buying property to dealing with the cultural changes. Do as much research as you can. Then once you feel comfortable that you can adjust to that, because you're adjusting to their culture, they're not adjusting to yours. So as long as you feel you can do that, then you should have no problem whatsoever.
Were you able to? Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, and my biggest advice is to buy, if you're going to buy a home or you want to build a home, look for a home already built. Don't start from scratch.
Why do you say that?
Because, again, of the time issue it takes to build. Things are built very well here, but it takes a long time. You have no Home Depots here. Nothing's pre-made. Everything's made by hand. So it takes a long time. So buy something already made.
Not to get too personal, but the money factor. So when you you did research, you're talking over with Tim or whatever. Did you guys calculate the money correctly? Was it different than you thought? Was it about how you thought it was going to be? You know what I mean, like the money thing. Because a lot of people go, okay, I have X amount of dollars to do whatever, start something, live, for the next 20 years, whatever it was. How were your money calculations as far as money?
The main thing that expats need to realize is that when you come here, everybody wants to try to find somebody that speaks English if you don't speak Spanish. And so they go for the first attorney, the first architect, engineer they find that speaks English, and you think, oh, it's wonderful.
He's on my side.
Exactly. Get contracts up front. Get it written in stone.
And actually in Spanish and English, right?
Right, in Spanish
to be
and
legal,
English.
it has to be in Spanish, I believe, right?
Right, you can get it in Spanish and have it translated in English. Make sure it's written in stone what the cost is going to be. And if you don't, then you're asking for trouble. And unfortunately, I trusted my architect because I thought he was a good friend. So I've learned my lesson the hard way. So I hope other people can learn from me to do it the correct way and get your contracts up front.
Because there's a lot of things you just don't know. You can do your homework till you're blue in the face, and there's just some things that are unexpected. You just never anticipated. And I'm assuming you ran into some of that.
Right. Well, the main thing you have to do that I've learned now, after the fact, but do things on your own. If you need a carpenter, try to find a carpenter on your own. Don't go through someone else. Most people in Costa Rica work on commissions. So if I contact you as a Costa Rican and say, Michael, I need a contractor to add a room onto my home. When that contractor comes out, he's already talked to you. The price now is higher because the contractor is going to give you a commission for referring me to him. So if you can do it on your own, you'll save money.
True. So I guess the last thing, this is a loaded question because, what are you going to say? But would you do it if you had to do it all over again, would you still have kids? No. Would you still come down here? Would you have done anything, different or?
I would have no doubt that I would come here again.
You'd be here.
I would
You'd be here regardless.
No problem. I would be here. I wish I would have learned
what you know now.
What I know now, then things would have been different, but I have no regrets for moving here. No regrets whatsoever. And as far as I know, and my plans, I'll die in Costa Rica. I don't plan to move back. I don't plan to move anywhere else. I love it here. Everything about it, from the people to the landscape to everything.
Sweet. And you know what, guys? That's why we do this, actually. So you can get good information, and you don't have to learn the hard way. Okay? So I want to thank Wayne for his time.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. And good luck with your new venture. Abercam, just a shameless story. Abercam, La Fortuna, exclusive gay hotel.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right, see you.
Bye-bye.